I'm the only human at my AI software company. The other 20 employees are AI agents. This week, they've been shipping features to master while I was out living my life. This is RoboCo. It's open source and self-hosted. It runs on my home lab, and this is the video where I'm going to show you how it works and how to run it yourself. Just as a heads up, this is a V0. It has a couple of rough edges, but it's been delivering. It's something real. It has opened and merged more than 100 PRs by the moment, and all through the same process that I'm about to show you. I want to be clear on what it is and what it isn't, okay? So like RoboCo is not a framework, it's not a harness, it's not a loop, it's a company. And the difference is the whole point. Frameworks wire prompts together, harnesses make one agent more capable, loops design how an agent reasons. All of that is very useful, but none of them answers the question I actually had. Who's allowed to open a PR? Who reviews the QA? Who can touch master? What's the process behind all this? That's more of an organizational chart question and not so much of a schema or model question. And so instead of building a smarter agent, I just built an organization around regular agents. So the org chart consists of the CEO, me, obviously. I'm the only one who can actually touch master and merge things into master. Everything below me is agents with real roles. The prompter task assistant, the intake agent, interviews me and drafts tasks for me, so I don't even have to write my tickets, my tasks. I just have a conversation. Most of the time, I'm just rambling. The board consists on a product owner, a head of marketing, and also an auditor who just watches the scopes. It scopes my request and writes acceptance criteria. Head of marketing and product owner will be there to direct everything while I'm not there, so things can be escalated to them naturally from lower levels. So then we have like a main project manager. The main project manager coordinates three cells: the UX and UI, the front end, and the back end. Each cell is a project manager, 2 devs, a QA, and a documenter. 20 agents total. Each one runs in its own container with its own Git clone, and they cannot touch each other's workspace. So I'm gonna show you later on this part. So this is the dashboard, okay? I'm gonna just show you how to navigate it. So this is the dashboard. We will see overview metrics over here, and this is what it's giving the company live, okay? We can see that there are already some finished tasks with their own PRs. We can dive into that later on. We have a Kanban where we can see the tasks and actually go and check it out. There's also, let me see, the QA here approved the task, okay, but sometimes we will see that tasks are not that easy to get through. For example, here we have like 4 different reworks. If we go to the notes, no notes over here, no notes over here. Maybe on the, yes, approved. QA approved, reviewed, and everything. Okay, there, perfect. We also have journals where agents will be making decisions. And for example, let's go into the decision log where we can see how they analyze the context, they consider options, they choose options, and they also trace the rationale. They leave traces behind, so everything is traceable. Everything can be always tracked, right? We also have, like, after its rationale, the consequences of the options that it chooses and everything. Another thing that works a lot here in favor of the agents is the knowledge base or the RAG system that it has. They can ask the mentor for guidance if they get lost or anything. They can ask the mentor, or you can come here and ask something about like the journals, the documentation, the conversations they've been having, etc. You have the agents panels. You have a little metrics page over here where you can see how many tasks you have been completing, team health, the agent status, token usage and costs, so you can actually track how much you're spending with RoboCo. And all this takes me to the task assistant. I have a conversation here with the task assistant, and that's what will create the draft for my actual task. So let's just say that we want to work something on the front end, right? So we're going to say that only on the panel, and we're going to say, I see many pages where most of the buttons, actions, and data points are either broken or they won't work properly. Run an investigation, and let's draft a. So now naturally it's going to be preparing the agent and cloning the repo and everything. We can actually see all this on Docker, where we will have everything like running. For example, here we can see that the intake has started working with our conversation. So if we go back here, it says, I'll start by investigating the project structure and code base to understand what we are dealing with, then look for broken UI elements. Let me find out some research agent in parallel. So now the task assistant will start working on giving us a draft for a task. Once it's done with the process, it will literally take the whole development automatically into the tasks that we were looking at before, and that will allow us to kick off the development of everything. If we go back, the intake is still thinking, it's reading the files, it's doing all of its job, and once it finishes with that, it will come back to us with a proposal of a draft task. We will be able to accept or reject, and based on what it gives us, we will be able to like approve, send it to the board, and start working on it, or maybe send it to the main PM, because this is like a smaller task. But still, a very important thing is that every task will walk the same 14 states. If you recall what we were watching just now, it will go from pending the moment we approve this draft. It will go from pending to claimed, from claimed to in progress once the agents actually start working on them. Then we'll do like a self verification, and then they will call their QAs. QAs will come, will evaluate everything, their acceptance criteria and everything, and if everything's good, they will submit up. Submit up will take it to awaiting documentation. The documenters will analyze the whole task, document everything that has been done, and will call the last piece, which would be the cell PM. Once the cell PM approves the tasks, marks as completed, they submit up again, where the main project manager will come in and will decide whether to merge or not. The same process as the cell PM, but with bigger scope. Once the main PM merges all of the children tasks into, or PRs, into its own branch, is the moment that it will submit for CEO approval. That means that that's the moment we chime in again. So as you see, we start with the task assistant, we give it a go, and in the end, we just approve we approve the task for merge, or we reject and give a reason for the rework that we need and exactly what has to be reworked. So back to where we were. Excellent. The investigation surfaced a clear systematic problem. Let me load the intake tool and draft a task proposal. Here's the investigation what the investigation uncovered. Let me draft a comprehensive task proposal. Now he's going to come back to us and give us a proposal for a task. We can review everything and say, yeah, this looks good, or this doesn't look good. Let's widen the scope and everything. So as you see, it's breaking down all the problem to us, and it's showing us like what's wrong here. It's saying that the root cause is the mock data bypass layer, and the single biggest issue is that is mock mode, and in one of the TypeScript files returns true whenever the node env equals development, which means all 16 API modules serve hard-coded fake data. This is not exactly the problem that I was having, so I'm gonna point it into the right direction. What I meant is that when I want to drag and drop a task from Kanban page, or even reassign a task from within its task details page, I can't. I either get 500 errors or 403, sometimes 400. Now it's going to conduct the investigation again. It will go back again to investigate. It works just like you would work with Cloud Code, because the architecture behind it is Cloud Code. While this is happening, let's go back to the slides. Now, this is not exactly the same as vibe coding, but it is vibe coding in a way. It's just hard gates. You know, QA will always be very strict on whether to pass or not pass a task. Only QA fires the QA pass or QA fail. Nobody else can do it, and this is based on, of course, policy, the policy as data, the part I actually care about, because otherwise they are just LLMs running in the wild. The entire authorization or permissions model lives in one Python file. That's the lifecycle.py. It has thousands of lines of code, and everything reads from it. The orchestrator enforces it at runtime. The MCP manifests decide which tools each role gets from it. The agent prompts are generated from it, and the rule the runtime reinforces, and the rule the agent is told are the same exact object. The part I'm proudest of is the CI regenerates the docs from this module on every push and fails the build if they drift. So the policy cannot lie. With this, we ensure that every role and every permission is enforced along the way. When a feature is being developed, it's end to end. Okay, so I drop what we were saying. I drop a task, they interview or they interview, and I create and draft the task. The board will scope it, will create the acceptance criteria. I will approve the scope. Once I approve the scope, the main PM is assigned with the task, and it will split it across all the UX, front-end, and back-end cells. These cells will build in parallel on isolated Git workspace. So like each PM, each QA, each dev, each documenter, each cell PM will have its own workspace, no contamination. The QA will gate each cell and reject the loop until it's clean. The documenter will write, the cell PMs will merge upward, meaning the devs open a PR onto cell PMs. Cell PMs approve. They will grab their PR and their branch, and they will open a PR into the root branch, which is like the main PM's branch. Once the main PM branch has merged all of its different children branches that it had and all the PRs, it will open a PR for me to approve or reject. If I reject it, I give it a reason, and I basically nudge it into the right direction so they can go and rework on what was wrong and open the PR again, or better put, notify me that there's a new PR. We can go through some PRs here. For example, if we go onto the RoboCo, we can go into the pull requests, we can go into the closed ones, and we can see, for example, add WebSocket support for the usage dashboard. Here you can see how the different agents have been working on it, and once they are done, they will notify me that this PR is ready to be merged. As you see, the feature, main PM, and the slug of that task that they've been working on. If we see 4865, if we go here, okay, never mind. So that's a much more specific 5 concrete bugs causing your errors. One thing that I wanted to show you guys is on the PR90. The PR90 literally the QA failed 3 times to approve it, meaning that it actually had to like send it for rework. And when it came back to me, I had to send it back to rework 3 more times. This is to show you that it's not perfect, it's not flawless, it has a lot of issues and rough edges, but the development, it's delivering even when it seems like it's not. Why I say this? Well, because like I'm not going to pretend this always works. The best story from this week is the one where it failed twice. So the PR91st, so the token usage feature shipped overnight, QA rejected it 3 times from the dev. Caught a dead exception block, referencing an undefined variable, real bug, caught by org, not by me. Then the rate limit feature, I rejected it twice, both times the same failure. A complete class, a complete class fully tested that nothing ever called. Dead code that passed review. So I changed the lifecycle. The dev tasks must now reference the acceptance criteria they satisfy, and the cell PM has to verify coverage before idling. The third pass shipped everything. So that's the whole story, honestly. The org chart isn't just enforcement, it's the learning surface. The policy got smarter because the work failed in a visible way. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of the, it's on the next yeah, the PR90, it had a lot of rework. So you may see there has been like fixed pricing, both on the front and the back, until it actually got fixed migration and tests. So it took a while to get there, but this ultimately helped RoboCo to be smarter and act accordingly. So if we go back to RoboCo, we'll see that we have either options here, so board review and start, or approve and start. If I click on board review and start, the product owner and the head of marketing, they both are gonna start working on it and reviewing the scope of the whole task. As you see, the task has been created now because it was already drafted and ready for us to approve. We go to the task, we will see, let's go back here. We will see that the task appears pending. And if we dive into the task, yeah, we will see like the whole description of the task, the work that needs to be done, the notes, the success criteria, and the acceptance criteria. If it has subtasks or work sessions, it will appear here. The plan, there's no plan yet. The agents will create the plan now. Then we'll be updating on the progress of the task. We will see how they start communicating. They have different ways of communicating. They can communicate here in chat, or they can communicate with A2A, so agent to agent communication. This allows them to have an urgent way of communicating and spawning an agent that might be offline at the time. So A2A allows them to spawn another agent, literally call them. Doesn't matter whatever you're doing, sleeping, you're getting called. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So now they will start working on it. I'm going to show you in the logs how the product owner, for example, here, it's working on this as we speak. And it will start reviewing the whole scope for the task. In fact, if we go onto the matrix, we will be able to see how much we're spending. Well, not yet because they haven't stopped working, but we'll see how much they are spending in a minute. And so yeah, you will see this task that now is assigned to the product owner and the backend team. The head of marketing and the product owner will review the whole task. Here you have the head of marketing, and they will review the task and try to scope it and approve it for me to give it a go. So if we continue here, it should be any minute now being approved. If we wait a little bit, this should be finishing anytime now. We'll go back to it. We'll get a notification actually when that's done. You can see all of your notifications here. You can also go back to the pending ones or unread. You can acknowledge or read. So if you read a notification but not acknowledge it, it will go into pending. The agents will know that that task or that notification hasn't been yet approved by you. they actually need to know those things. Otherwise, they will continue insisting. But the owner seems to have a complete picture of the drag and drop and all the issues that we are having. The updates won't let go through. We'll see. In the meantime, let's go back to the slides. So receipts from this week, we have a token usage feature, we have the rate limit guardrails. Whenever you run out of limit here, the system will have a soft stop where it will pause every agent and everything and put them to sleep until the rate limit is lifted. So if you hit your context window from like your 5-hour limit from all models from Claude, for example, you will be notified that in, I don't know, an hour it will be coming back and you don't need anything else. So yeah, I shipped those two features, the token usage to keep track of how much it costs to run the whole RoboCo company, and also you have the rate limit guardrails, which will allow you to not go over your limit or do unnecessary spending and stuff like that. You can resume whenever. The agents will take care of everything. You don't even need to be there. As for the stack, the core it consists of Fast API, SQL Alchemy, PostgreSQL, Redis, Alembic, and UV for the package management. The agents are Cloud Code and Olama initiating Cloud Code. You know that basically you can use Olama to run Cloud Code, so that's what we are working with. And you have Docker containers, so each agent runs on its own Docker container and it's completely isolated with its own Git workspace. For the memory, I implemented Piragi, which is a rack system that I found, an open source rack system that I found around GitHub. I actually liked it a lot and I started using it. It uses PG Vector. And then what I'm using for the embedding is Qwen3 embedding a model of 0.6 billion tokens. The interface is just TypeScript with a React panel. Via Nginx, it uses MCP for the flows, it has docs, and it's Git read-only. As for the quality, the test, it has more than 312 tests today, and also there's a lot of gates to go through before saying that a task is finished. Like for example, RAF, MyPy, Vultr, Bandit. There's a good couple of ones. Okay, so the board is telling me that they finished, but I cannot see my... Okay, perfect. The product... Okay, the task is ready for you to approve and start decision or rejection. Acknowledge, that will let them know that I saw it. If I come here, I should be able to see the approve and start button, that it's not there because I took too long, I think. Yes, it pretty much took too long. As you may see, this is exactly the problem that we are having. If I do main PM as to reassign it, I cannot assign it. And if I go into the Kanban, I should be able to assign it here to somebody else. Like for example, this is because it's on the back end. The main PM should be grabbing this task and working again on it. The orchestrator will call the product owner and start working on it. I think this is what I wanted to show you today. I want to make some clarifications. You can always run it from Docker, okay? You can actually copy it from Docker. You can just pull it from Docker here by any of the agents and just start running it. I personally, because I'm developing all the time, I'm just pulling on my NAS and I work from my home lab like that. But you can always like run it on your own computer if it has the capacity for it. It's HGPL, it's designed for a trusted LAN, it's not designed to be put on the public internet yet. The README is explicit about it, so please don't put this online on a VPS or something. And yeah, issues and PRs are genuinely welcome. The repo is a real how-to. There's a full walkthrough with screenshots in the docs. So if we go back to RoboCo, we go docs, we should be able to see how-to, and you have the full how-to here with the full screenshots of the full cycle. You should be able to find anything here from start to end and how it works. And yeah, this is the proof that the company is building itself. I just pick the right things to reject, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Once I am happy with the changes, I just approve them, and the end of the story. We move on to new features. I will leave the links below. This was like an introductory video to RoboCo. I hope that you liked it, and stay tuned if you want to know more about RoboCo.